Hello everyone. This is my second video of showing what's in my fridge and my freezer. I actually had sort of epiphany yesterday when I actually went to the store for a change instead of ordering from Instacart. Normally I spend around $100 on groceries, but I spent almost 200 in the store yesterday, which is initially seems odd because sometimes the stores actually charge more on Instacart than they do in store, and also add delivery fee. And obviously, I tip the driver, you know, the one who delivers the groceries. So you would think, oh, okay, that's going to be, generally more expensive. But the problem is when I go to the store, and I'm sure I'm not the only one like this. Obviously, I pass by, going through different aisles, and I see certain food and certain drinks that I didn't expect going in that I would be interested in purchasing. But then I'm like, oh, well, I'm here. I'll add that to the cart, add another thing to the cart, another thing to the cart. And before I know it, I've, spent more money than I initially intended and that I historically spend. So I ended up spending like $188, which, is almost two times as much as I normally spend. So I just found that interesting. Anyway, let's get to the riveting part of the video. So I got some Publix butter, a little bit less expensive than Land O'Lakes. I haven't had much soda over the past couple months, but I just got tired of just water and Gatorade and cran grape. So I thought, why not change it up? And then I bought some energy drinks, Celsius and Alani Nu behind it. For those not in the know, Alani Nu was purchased by Celsius, I think, sometime last year. That was definitely a good buy. And for disclosure purposes, I own Celsius stock. Unfortunately, it hasn't done nearly as well as I expected over the past couple of years. And I think one of the main reasons why is it only derives literally around 5% of its overall revenue internationally. And I think in comparison, Monster and Red Bull derive around 40 to 45% of their revenue. So obviously, it's a huge difference. And if Celsius wants to increase its stock price, which obviously they do, the senior executives in particular, because most of their compensation is based on stock prices, stock options, then they got to do a much better job on that. But I digress. I bought a big, bottle of milk. I like the whole grade A. I decided to try to get some fruit. So I got grapes. We'll see if I actually eat them. As I said previously, I had a bottle of wine for a couple of years that was stagnant, and so I finally dumped it and then added some Zinfandel instead, wherever you properly pronounce that. I don't know if I prefer that or Riesling, but we'll see. I still have the Atkins Premier Protein drinks in there. I should clear that out at some point. I got the oops, oh, my dexterity still works. I got some pre-packaged Monster cheese. And last time I had ham, and now this time I have the Boar's Head, what do we got here? Blazing Buffalo. I'm sure that'll be delicious. Now this one I'm curious about. I mean, the name cracks me up, so that's frankly part of the reason why I got it. But Buzz Balls. It's like, riddled with sugar and wonderful stuff. And it's 15% alcohol by volume. It's a pretty high percentage from what I've read. So I'm very curious about that. Then I got the Smucker's Uncrustables. I like those. It's a good snack. I haven't had pudding in a while. Hershey's is actually pretty good. I still obviously have the eggs left over from last time. I haven't actually had any of the eggs yet. Maybe I should today. And then behind the three vanilla Cokes over there, I got Peach Propel. I think that's the first time I had it. It's pretty good. And then I got a smaller bottle of water. And I still have some from the 40 I got 2 weeks ago. And that's really about it. It's kind of Spartan in here. It's just amazing how, at least here in the States, just so many places across the country, food and drinks prices have just skyrocketed for so many things over the past couple years, which is obviously a big problem, but we're obviously not going to solve it here. Now, if you recall, my freezer 2 weeks ago wasn't nearly as full, and I think this is part of the reason why my bill was more expensive yesterday than last time. So I never tried the P.F. Chang's. Is a pretty well-known Chinese restaurant with a couple locations a fair number of locations across the country. I like cooking things in the air fryer, so I like sesame chicken, so I figured instead of ordering it online, again, try to save some money, just buy some of it on my own and get the air, you put it in the air fryer. So we'll see how that goes. I still have some leftover mozzarella sticks, and then oh man, the Texas toast I find quite yummy. And this is the 5 cheese one. I don't think I've ever had the 5 cheese one before. Honestly, sometimes I eat it right out of the freezer, which I know is probably not a good idea, but oh well. I like to live on the edge sometimes. And here I got 2 ribeyes. At least here in the United States, I think production of beef is like at a 50-year low or something. So obviously, supply and demand, such a low supply jacks up the prices. And also here, due to the lack of enforcement by the DOJ and whatnot, it's allowed like 3 or 4 companies to be the main meat packers in the entire country. So obviously they could, collude and kind of set whatever prices they want, because there's very little competition in that area, which, is obviously a huge problem for, regular people across the country. But again, we're not going to solve that today. I got leftover Eggos from last time. Jeez, I got the Arby's from last time, the fries. I haven't had these in a while. My uncle actually recommended them to me the first time a couple years ago. I just wanted to, have something different instead of, just simply going back to the normal foods I have. I like their fish sticks, so I figured why not try their fish fillets. I'll let you know in the next video what my opinion of it is. Now, I'm 42, so I have no idea the ages of people the 10 plus people who have watched this video, my prior video, my first one. Chicken Kiev was talked a lot about in probably the late 80s, early 90s. And a particular mention I recall was in Red Heat, an underrated movie in my opinion, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Belushi. I think it's James, because his brother sadly died, the SNL guy, where he mentions Chicken Kiev. But I didn't really know, besides the chicken part, I didn't know what what kind of chicken it was, and it says here it's filled with garlic, butter, and parsley. So I thought, what the heck not? Why the heck not, rather? I'll try it out. I'm curious. I just got to make sure I cook it properly because, I don't want to get sick. So, let's see what else I got here. I got some fresh turkey patties again. Just wanted to try some different cuisine for a change. And 93% lean. Obviously I can't confirm that, so I guess I'll take their word for it. And I could jazz that up with some seasoning and spices and whatnot. Again, to save a little bit of money instead of getting like a name brand, because it's an ice cream sandwich, for crying out loud. I mean, it's probably not that much different than, name brand versions of it. So this is another example of, I didn't plan on getting this before I went to the store, but happened to go through the freezer, aisle, and I saw it. I was like, what the hell? I'll pick it up. Not worth taking this stuff out because you've seen all that already last time. Got a big box of chicken nuggets. They're fully cooked, so that's stupendous, and I could just put those in the air fryer, which I plan on doing. And I might get some negative feedback for this, but I thought, I'm curious how these taste. I had the cauliflower quote-unquote chicken, in my last video. So I thought I'd keep that theme going and see this plant-based chicken tenders. I'm cautiously optimistic that I'll like it, but who knows for sure until I actually try it. And then again, I got some more bird's eye. I got the veggie pasta again. Save a little bit of money instead of ordering delivery, because a lot of these pasta dishes, at least in my area, are at least 16 bucks before taxes and tip and service, delivery fee. So that adds up pretty quickly, unless you have a some deal being offered, or like Uber Cash or something like that, or a deal sometimes they have it through Uber Eats. You could be spending like 25 plus bucks, if not more, for just a pasta entree. So I figured, why not try this? And also it's healthier than regular pasta. I've had this before though. It's not bad. I mean, it's not glorious, but Oh, wow, look at this. Wonders never cease. There are two that I haven't eaten from last time. My day has just gotten better than I originally planned. And that's it. I hope you were as riveted as I was by this journey we've taken together. And thank you for watching, and I'll probably have my third video sometime next week.